Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to Business. My name is Daryl Kwao. The Center for Extractives and Development Africa is charging government to desist from capping the Mineral Development Fund. Executive Director of the Center, Emmanuel Kuyole, says the ministry's incessant release of half of the 20% of the fund due them has impoverished the mining sector. Mr. Kuyole says though the objectives of the establishment of the fund were well intended, evidence from mining enclaves show operation of the fund has encountered major difficulties. There is more in this report.
So there are a lot of
Mr. Kuyole said communities still lacked basic infrastructure, adding that the utilization of the revenues from the mineral resources over the past decade had failed to address basic needs and problems associated with mining.
Yeah, I was saying that the Minister of Finance is doing this on the back of the Capping Act, which was passed in 2018. So basically what is happening is that this law was passed in 2016. Another law was passed in 2018, which empowers the Minister of Finance to cap all statutory funds. So this is being treated by the Minister of Finance as a statutory fund. Just like education fund, whatever fund. That's the way he's treating it. So your question is, how do we address this? I give an example of this Assembly Common Fund. Was it this Assembly Common Fund? Yes. Well, somebody went to court last year. Or was it this year? Last year. They were MPs who went to court to challenge the Minister of Finance for capping the Assembly Common Fund. The court held that actually the minister cannot cap. They cannot use the Capping Act to cap the Common Fund. So Common Fund has been excluded. So one way is, since we have written and it appears the minister is not budging, one way is to test the law. So basically, and I said this, I said, if you listen to the minister, listen to whatever the government is doing on mining communities, at least from what they say and on paper, they are on the side of mining communities. But one government action, which is capping of LDF, is preventing the achievement of that objective.
The meeting brought together journalists in the Ashanti region to be sensitized on the Mineral Development Fund and ways they are being utilized. Suleiman Akone, CEO, Ghana Chamber of Mines.
Mining is finite, but yet, through efficient and prudent management of the mineral resources, the resources which come out of mining, and it is not just mineral revenue, all the resources, all the capabilities, the opportunities around mining, if you're able to harness this optimally for our country, effectively, we would see sustainable mining.
For JoyNews, Kwesi Deborah.
Now, some people have blamed former managers of the Bank of Ghana under the previous administration for the collapse of some 7 banks and the subsequent challenges that have bedeviled the financial sector. According to critics, the finance minister at the time did nothing when an asset quality review and stress test conducted on the financial sector revealed the sector was on the verge of collapse. But Mr. Tekpe, the former finance minister, tells Joy Business amendment of the Banking Act and introduction of new regulations were all steps taken to prevent the related challenges. In an interview, he noted that the introduction of the Energy Sector Levies Act, ESLA, in 2015 was also part of moves to deal with the challenges.
Quality review came, the first action we take, the most substantive one, and that's why I keep mentioning it, obviously, was the passage of ESLA, which was, I would say that it was, the ESLA was passed in November 2015, yeah. But by March, April, the flows were so strong enough, sufficiently strong, to inject 250 million because the banks were hemorrhaging. So the first thing is to, inject some cash into the banks, which is not, as some people say, it wasn't targeted at, let me say, some folly by some banks or whatever, it was specific. It said VRA is owing the banks. VRA have contractors, suppliers. It says government has awarded contracts Many of those contractors went to banks to borrow.
To execute.
So what did we do? We set up a committee led by the Association of Bankers and the Ministry of Finance, and a group of the contractors, the major ones. And so instead of taking ESLA to pay a contractor directly, right, we would say what banks are owed, right? And in that tripartite agreement, it's debt on their books. And it was, either paid, or the second element is because the flows, the injection was 250 million Ghana.
And we have more of that interview coming up on the Marketplace with Emmanuel Abuajiriafi. My name is Darrell Kwao. Sports is up next. Stay tuned.